Hey y'all, welcome back to another video today. I'm going to show you how to use this dollar store sign, and we're also going to use some of these watercolor papered leaves, and I think I'm going to use this sticker book. This I believe I picked up from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby, one of the two. And I'm just going to show you a little bit here of some of these stickers as I kind of flip through here, in case this is maybe something that you might want to run out and buy. Now, I am going to use these today, I think. This is where I feel like I'm going to go with it, because I asked in a poll if you guys wanted some like farmhouse fall or vintage or boho. I got a lot of farmhouse, some vintage, some boho, but mostly farmhouse. So we're going to do some farmhouse today in this video. I am going to do a part 2 of some vintage fall, and I hope to get that out sometime this month. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up this next part. And while I'm speeding up this next part, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this collaboration that I joined today. But before I do that, I am going to use some of these paper doilies from the dollar store. And just so I have some kind of mixed media kind of things that I can put in my stash. And this is a good way to kind of have some of that in there. So I'm going to use some distressed inks like you saw at the beginning of the video. And the first colors I'm going to be using is the distressed ink in walnut stain and vintage photo. So today we are doing everything crafty and some fall, and the hosts are Lady Red Crafting, that and Our Gray House. Those are the two hosts, and their guest host today is Shabby Meets Bling. I will have them linked down in my description box, and you guys can check them out, plus whoever joined their collaboration. So you guys, I am going to use this watercolor brush, and I'm sorry that the number rubbed off of there already, but I'm pretty sure it's a 6 or an 8 round brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and get my brush wet here and kind of do a little watercolor effect over top of it. And I'm going to speed that part up next here. So while this speeds on up of me adding the water to all of the faux leaves, the little fake leaves that we created here, I want you to know that you can check out this video here of me doing 7 different ways to watercolor with things that I had in my craft stash. So if you'd like to watch that, check that out now. Okay, so let's look at these. They're all dry now, up close, and see what we got going on here. I think these actually turned out almost like looking like real leaves, and I hope that this is something that you may want to try. And I think this would be so cool on like any background. If you could get, like, if you have a Cricut that can cut out fall leaves for you, you could do it on book paper, you could do it on craft paper, watercolor paper. There's just so many ways that you could actually do that. So if you can't find watercolor leaves, get out the Cricut that you have in your stash. I know a lot of you have those, and cut you out some leaves. I'd say if you don't have something like that, get some tracing paper in your stash and start tracing stuff out that you can print out from the internet for free. Just go Google fall leaves of different sizes, print them out, trace them out, and then you can retrace them on your watercolor paper or your craft cardstock paper or whatever you decide to use, book paper, and make you some leaves. Now, here you guys, this is a distressed oxide ink, so it's going to be different than the distressed inks. These inks are going to oxide, so when I add water to this ink and I'm going to pretty much splash it over top of all of these leaves that we have created here in this video, like you see, and the ink that's already on there plus this ink is going to oxidize, and it's going to give me that beautiful texture that you kind of see on leaves when they get wet. They kind of look weird in certain spots. So that's what I'm going to achieve here doing this part, and I'm going to do that on all the leaves. And then as soon as I'm done splashing splatters, because that's what we're doing here with this, I'm also going to put down a little bit more ink on the mat and some water. And then I'm just going to actually pick the leaf up and kind of dip it down in to those pieces as well. But before I do that, I want to dry it. So I did the splatters, right? And you can't see them right now, but you will. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you first. You see what I mean? How it oxidized and just kind of left those weird kind of circular pieces. And then I'm going to just drop it right down in the color, and that's it. And of course, I'm going to have to lay down a little bit more color to do the rest. But we're not going to make you watch me do the rest of that on these leaves. So let's go ahead and cut to the chase. Okay, so I moved the camera angle way down here so you can get a really close view. And don't mind my fingers, they're absolutely disgusting from this ink. They look so gross, and it's gonna take me like 4 days to get that out. But what we're doing here is I'm just taking a colored pencil. I'm pretty sure the brand I have is called Mark Color, and it's in the skin tone colored pencils, and I have the 24 pack. I do not know where those came from. Sorry, I've had those for a minute. But then we're just going to draw in those lines that you see on leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and speed that next part up here so you guys don't have to watch me do each of the leaf in slow mode, because this is just regular time here. So we're going to get this to 10 speed, and I'll babble a little bit more too as we go. So while this is speeding up, I want to remind you guys that this is a playlist that I joined with Katie and Lisa, and their guest host is Dawn. You guys be sure to head down to the description box and check out their channels, because I will also have that linked. And the playlist that they have created that all crafters like myself have joined for fall crafting. And I love fall crafting. It's kind of one of my faves, is getting into the fall vibes. I really love the smell of cinnamon, so I kind of like to bring that cinnamon smell in my home and get ready for the fall vibes. So how about you? Now, you guys, these stickers, I didn't want to show you me putting all these on here, but I kind of placed these here and there, and this is pretty much what I came up with the stickers. I did have a couple bunnies left. I might even add one at the top there, one of the bunnies, or maybe both of the bunnies, like trying to hold up the sheep. I don't know, we'll see. I did not add that in this one, and now I feel like it's kind of naked there at the bottom. Oh wait, maybe I kind of fix it to where it doesn't look so, I don't know. I still think maybe I could add a rabbit down there and have like the rabbit like I don't know, holding up the sheet by 2 feet. I don't know. Anyways, this was kind of fun to make, you guys. It's something different. I wanted to use up these stickers. I bought them a while ago. I don't even know what I was going to use them for. I just thought they were cute. Farmhouse, bought them. Here we are. What would you guys do with those stickers? I did flip through and did show you a few. So let me know what you guys would do with those. Here I'm taking the vintage photo color, or no, I think I did the tea dye actually. I'm using the tea dye color, and I'm going around all around the cow and the pig and all the animals on here to take down some of the white, okay? And then here, what we're gonna do is I forget. Let's be honest, because I do not remember what I'm about to do next. I can't remember if we're going to be sealing this. Ooh, maybe I have the gesso there. What am I doing next? Oh, yes, I am going to seal this, but I am going to use some of this matte gel, and I'm going to put it over top of these just to seal those stickers down. Okay, so once I was done with that and they were all dry, I want to take this distressed ink in the color Black Soot. Yes, I'm using black. I know you're probably like, no, what is she about to do? But what we're going to do is not get it all over our fingers like I did, but we're going to anyways. And you guys, I'm going to be very, very careful here. And I'm just going to go around the edging of each one of these leaves, and we're going to speed this up a little bit, and I want you guys to kind of watch this and see, because I'm going to show you like the difference from one side of the leaf to the next. So the next thing that we're going to do here is take this fall leaf, and I'm using some wood glue from Dollar Tree because that's all I had, and some hot glue, and I think it works just fine. And yeah, the hot glue is for so it'll stick down right now. Okay, and then I did have a little stem break off there, so we'll just put that back on. All right, now what we're going to do here is remove the tag, and that said Crafter Square. I have this piece of gingham from the dollar store as well in my stash, and I'm just going to tie a bow up at the top of this, and we're going to pull the bow down to the right and have it hanging off to the right, because when I went to go hang it up on the wall, and sorry I'm off camera, you can't see me here, but when I went to go hang it up on the wall, all I could see was the thumbtack looking thing that was hanging it. So, and it was messing my bow up and pushing it like all weird. So I decided to just pull the bow down to the right side and just leave that there. I think this would be super cute if you had little tiny bows and could put two to the side on both sides of the jute cord. And then of course, to give it that finished look here, we're going to ducktail the ends and give it that finished look. And that's it for this first video today, you guys. Let me know which one is going to be your favorite. So let's go ahead and hop over to the next. All right, the second project, I have this stuff in my craft hoard here. And the first thing that we're going to do is I had torn these little papers into like a frame. And I have these watercolor crayons that we're going to use today in this video. And this chalkboard, my daughter's college, when it was time for her to you know, be done and graduate, they had a little spot down there where you could take things, and they had a section of art stuff, and I helped myself. And they had a whole bunch of these, so I took almost all of them. I think I left a couple just in case somebody else would like a few, but let's go ahead and just tell you I am doing Tasha's lazy way of staining. And what that is I take one of my watercolor crayons and I color it on wood, and I use my watercolor brush here, and I just get a little bit of water and blend it right in, you guys. Simple as that. And then you want to dry it right away. That way, you know how wood and water can do. So make sure you get that dried as soon as you're done. So now once I dried that, I went ahead on to the next part here. And that's what we're doing. We're going to do this little lazy method that I love to do. If you ever do this, mention me. I'd be glad to watch your video and give you a support for using one of my ways to stain wood with watercoloring. And if you don't have any watercoloring crayons, watercolors will work just fine too. Use whatever watercolor you have. Just mix it with a little bit. If it's like a hard watercolor and you got to mix a little water, go for it. That will work as well if you do not have the crayon. So I do that too. Now, I guess I'm going to show you all of this. Yeah? Okay. Well, I guess I could just go ahead and show you all this, because that paper that you see off to the right that I'm kind of dabbing off the excess kind of in my paintbrush, and if it gets a little bit too wet, I can just dab it off on that paper over to the side. That paper we're also going to use to make a leaf out of here in a little bit, so stay tuned for that if you are getting bored of me painting the outside of this silly old frame here. So let me go ahead and just speed this next part up and get to the next part. Okay, so you're probably curious about the sides. I am doing the sides as well. I just took the bottom of the crayon and rubbed it and then dried it. And of course, you guys, to give it a seal, I like to go over top of it first with this ink here. And I also go around the edge with the black, but I can't remember if I show you that. But you guys, I also have these foil die cut letters from the dollar store as well. You can find them in the teacher section. And I'm just going to punch out some pieces to use for this sign. And I didn't have enough L's, so I did have enough I's. So for fall, we're going to use all I's instead of L's, but nobody knows that but you guys that are watching. The world would not know if they looked at it without watching this, right? All right, so once we got all those out, now I have the frame like I want it, and I'm going to try to be very careful and just use some hot glue here in the corner and just adhere these cardstock pieces that I had ripped off from a piece of cardstock. And you guys can get paper pads from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They always have such great buys, and they have always the cutest ones. So I love just stopping in every once in a while and seeing what they have. So once all the four corners get like glued down, I'm going to go back and glue down the top in the bottom strip. And I thought it would be easier to do it like this, and then I'll show you here in a second once I get this part down here. And you guys, hot glue works just well. Now you guys, if I would have stained that with like Waverly wax, that hot glue would not stick. You guys know what I'm saying. So do the lazy way of staining, and without Waverly wax, you guys can use watercolors, okay? And they have all different kinds of watercolors in brown. So, and if you don't like brown, do whatever color. You guys, you could use pink, you could use purple. Your frame wood does not have to be brown. It could be black. It could be just so many neat colors, you guys. So take advantage of that too, okay? So this is how, like I said, I was doing the frame. I thought that would be easier to just do it like this. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Let's go ahead and just hop right into the next part because this is getting boring. Okay, so I have some gesso in my stash, and we're going to give this fall, y'all, 3 coats I end up doing over these. It doesn't really matter, I guess, because I'm trying to get that fall rusty look anyways with these, because, you know, that's how Farmhouse is. There is a rusty kind of style too. So I'm going to try to get that rusty kind of look going on these letters here from the dollar store. Now, these things are, like I said earlier, are called foil die cuts from, I'm pretty sure it was the Dollar Tree that it said on there, that $1.25, I think it was. This is something actually new that I recently found. And of course, I was like, oh, cool, they're black. I'm going to use them. And then I end up painting over them anyways. I mean, that's how we do sometimes. I bought them because they were black, but I end up painting over them with white, whatever. But we're going to, like I said, give them 3 coats. And then we're going to do a little bit of staining and try to give them that rusty kind of vibe. So you'll have to let me know if I kind of pulled that off here. So. Okay, so I did lose a little bit of footage there, but, you know, it is what it is. But this is that paper that I had been, you know, using throughout this whole video of the book paper. And I just kind of looked at one of those leaves that I already had did from the video before on the fall sign, and just kind of hand drew one of those leaves here with my watercolor pen crayon here. And now I'm just trying to trim it out. And like I said, I did lose a little bit of footage of me getting the distressed ink around the fall, y'all, on the, see how it's like got the, I did that color in the vintage photo first. And then this one, like I said, I was using the crayon, and then I went back over it. And then we're going to kind of watercolor this, and we're also going to add some different inks, and I just kind of go back and forth with this one. I will say on this leaf, I forgot to do like the veins and stuff. I should have done that. I did not, but so if you do this, don't forget that part, because I sure enough did. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed up the rest of this video and just let y'all watch the last few touches that I do to this cute little project. All right, guys, now I'm just going to use hot glue and adhere everything down. See, I told you I forgot to put the veins on that leaf, which it just makes it not look so much like a leaf, but that's okay. I am going to add some stickers over top of it and give it a finished look. And here I'm just gluing down some of that paper that was sticking up here and getting that all finished. Now I grabbed that sticker pack that I used from the first project, and I'm going to dirty this up with the vintage photo here, and I'm going to use a horse, and I think I use a sheep, or what do I use? A lamb. I use a baby lamb. That's right. Yeah, I used the baby lamb. All right, that's it for today's video, you guys. Don't forget to go down in my description box and watch everyone that joined this amazing collaboration with Katie and Lisa and their guest host, Dawn. Yeah, I'm excited to see what everyone else has made. I'm really loving getting into the fall spirit, and I can't wait to start doing my fall Bible journaling too. So I'm getting really excited for that. So I did went ahead and put a little bit of ceiling over that so those little animals would stay. But you guys, tap my picture if you'd like to get some more inspiration, and here's some more fall from last year if you guys want to get inspired. Bye y'all, see you next time.